It's great to have you here for a celebration.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. She's wonderful. It's always great when we can celebrate our community. And you know the point I'm making because you know I've made it before. This is not the community across the street from UMB. This is our community. And Madam Mayor has taken time, I don't need to tell you this, from a very busy schedule to join us. Madam Mayor, we couldn't be more grateful for your partnership in a good news announcement today. Elected officials, Delegate Antonio Hayes, Councilman John Bullock, and I don't know if Councilman Costello made it yet. Thank you all for being with us. I also want to recognize people here representing Congressman Elijah Cummings, his District Director Harry Spikes, Special Assistant Shannon Lewis. Representing the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development is Assistant Secretary Carol Ann Gilbert. Thank you. Baltimore City Housing Commissioner Michael Braverman is with us this morning, as is Deputy Commissioner Alice Kennedy. They have been very instrumental in helping us strengthen our university's Live Near Your Work program. And I thank the university leadership for coming out today. I see our extraordinary deans, our vice presidents. Things like this don't happen without them. To everyone on the university's Live Near Your Work committee, who've labored, frankly, on this program for a number of years, who've made sure that we put the time, the energy, the resources into building community, thank you. Annie Milley and Live Baltimore, I saw you here. Thank you for being the face of homeownership in the city and for joining us today. Matt Gallagher and the Goldsecker Foundation, you've been critical in support of the Southwest Partnership. Frankly, this room is filled with community partners and with leaders from the neighborhood associations. We'll have Michael Sipe make some comments later. To all of our partners, for years you've led the way for UMB as we've enlarged our community engagement efforts. And we've waited for this announcement for a long time. So again, thanks to all for guidance, for counsel, for generous partnership. Now, what's the history of this? Several years ago, UMB launched a Live Near Your Work program. And the sponsor was our very own biopark, where we've gathered today. The biopark, you'll recall, was UMB's first meaningful venture across Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Was our first attempt to knit ourselves to the community of the Southwest Partnership. And I think it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway, to Jim Hughes, to Jane Schaub, this park is emblematic of our roots in West Baltimore, growing and deepening over the years. Plain and simple, I think we've done things the right way in building something like this in partnership with the community. So the Bioparks Board several years ago began offering $2,500 to employees who bought a house in one of several West Baltimore neighborhoods. And the money qualified for a matching grant from the city, and so prospective home buyers were offered in total $5,000 toward a down payment and closing costs. The program was grounded in the fact that it's infinitely easier to build communities of strength and mutual respect shaped by a shared density when we work together socialize together, and where the opportunity exists, live together, intertwining our fates. Again, I've said this over and over. What's good for this community is good for UMB, and the reverse has to equally be true. And so we wanted to find a way to get more of our employees to live in the neighborhoods that we serve. We wanted to blur the line between the university and the community, between neighbor and employee. We wanted our people to have an interest and a stake in our actions in West Baltimore, where they live, in a way that only those directly affected by our actions can. So at first, the Live Near Your Work program was only for employees located in the biopark. But after a couple of years, it was open to any UMB employee. But I've got to be honest, we didn't have many takers for that $5,000. The number of people we've helped into homes in this community, again, I'm being very honest, was embarrassingly small. So we needed to rethink. We needed to rethink how we implement a robust Live Near Your Work program. We did several things. In order to create critical mass to focus, we somewhat tightened the neighborhoods eligible for the home buying grant. And this map should look familiar to many of you. Got a lot of these posters out here to my left. These are the 7 neighborhoods, the neighborhoods of the Southwest Partnership. And this is where we focus so many of our community engagement efforts. This is home base. We added a stipulation to the program that if you take advantage of this grant, you have to keep the property you purchase as your primary residence for 5 full years. That's to make sure that people don't buy a house as an investment property, fix it up, and then resell it at a higher price. I guess the term is flipping. We want people who live in these homes. And yes, then we had to face the music and consider the fact that our investment of $2,500 simply wasn't incentive enough. And this is what I think many of you came out to hear. We arrived at a number more than 6 times higher than our original investment.
Yay, definitely.
So now we're talking, right? Now we're talking. So again, to be specific, the university will now offer a home buying grant of $16,000, which will be matched by the city's $2,500 for a total incentive of $18,500. That changes the game. Thank you. So this amount of money will put Southwest Baltimore into the mix when employees are considering a home purchase. It'll be an incentive that we can use to attract the best and brightest professionals to UMB. Frankly, and as important, it will get some of our entry-level employees into a home of their own, which is so important because home ownership is critical to community building. It's a powerful way to show our neighbors that we're tethered to one another, that we share in effort and decision-making and community. And I know Mayor Pugh believes in this as well. In her State of the City address last year, she asked, how do we keep young people who graduate from Baltimore's universities living and working in our city? How do we expand opportunities for university employees to live near their work? And as I said to her earlier this morning, that's not the only time she said it when I heard it. She's asked me the exact same questions every time we meet. So, Mayor Pugh, we're so grateful for your partnership. Please welcome the Honorable Catherine Pugh.
Let me just say, I know you all are excited. I am absolutely excited. And Jay, you're absolutely right. Time and time again, you know, I say it over and over again. And there's so many friends and partners in this room that understand the significance and the importance of doing this. Baltimore is a great city, a lot of challenges. And every day I tell people my day starts at 4:30 a.m. and I am so willing to meet the challenge every single day. My day usually doesn't end until 10 or 11 o'clock at night, but it's okay because I believe in this city. I believe in the goodness and the greatness of this city. And we will meet all of our challenges, but it is efforts like this, Dr. Perman, that I believe will make the difference in the growth and expansion of our city. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge Pete Hammond, who is my Chief Operating Officer for the City of Baltimore. And we've acknowledged all the elected officials. If y'all need me to do it again, you know, because I got to work with these folks on a regular basis. You know, we're getting ready to go to Annapolis. We need some more money. So Delegate Antonio Hayes, don't you forget it. John Bullock and Eric Costello, thank you. And to Congressman Cummings, folks, I just want to say I've got a major federal package for you all. You know, we have some infrastructure issues, and we're going to get them fixed. But this day belongs to the University of Maryland-Baltimore President Jay Perman, because you're absolutely right. During the inauguration address, I asked those questions, but I ask it of all of us all the time. You know, I also remember saying in that inauguration address, there are certain neighborhoods that if properties were abandoned, that we would jump quickly to fix them. And University of Baltimore actually lies in the purview of many of those. And so you have taken up the mantle to bring about the difference that this city needs. And what is so great about University of Maryland coming across Martin Luther King Boulevard is their investment in this community. And Jay not only talks the talk, he walks the walk. He is a part of Baltimore, and we're grateful for that as well. So you do get to experience and understand the problems that we face. And the Southwest Partnership has just been extraordinary in terms of how you work with communities and neighborhoods to build them up and to let people know in these communities that there is hope. Because oftentimes we refer to some of these neighborhoods as poor neighborhoods, and I tell folks they're not poor neighborhoods. They may be underinvested in. In fact, there's some folks who lived in those neighborhoods and communities for decades who have been waiting for this kind of opportunity, this kind of investment. Because what this also does is it brings us together. It gets us not only working together, but living together, and understanding that the diversity of our population is also among our strengths. And so as we continue to do these kinds of things, because I'm telling you, Jay, I'm asking everybody the same question. You know, we asked it of Hopkins years ago, and they've done their part. But the University of Maryland is such an integral part of our communities. We talk about the University of Maryland School. We talk about the University of Maryland hospital system. You know, all of us need to be a part of the solution. And that's what this is. This is a solution to how we increase population in our city. We've got to grow the population of Baltimore. We've got to change the narrative. And if anybody doesn't understand at this point what that means, and somebody asked me, what does changing the narrative mean? It means that there are great things happening in our city. There are other stories to be told besides some of the problems around crime, because we're tackling those problems every day. And I can tell you that every day at 8 a.m. at the police department, we're squarely focused on reducing violence. We've got all of our agencies, Dr. Perman, working together. And let me tell you what that's done. When we put our commanders and all of our agencies in the room together, and the commanders said to us, you know, the problem is that if there's a boarded house or there's trash in the alleys or lights out in our city, that it takes us 7 to 14 days to begin to solve those problems. I want you to know that we're down to 1.5 days, and that's just in 60 days. And while no life lost in this city should go unchallenged, I can tell you that just in the last 2 months of that focused, those individuals, we've developed relationships. I was just talking to one of my commanders in the back, and I was saying, how's it going? She said, relationships are being developed. And relationships matter. The relationship that you have with our community matters. The engagement that you've had with our community matters. And it is what spurs interest in our city. It spurs partnerships in our city, it spurs relationships in our city, and it spurs the understanding that this is the city that will bring about the greatest change that America will ever see. Because I am committed to these efforts and efforts like this, Carol, that will bring about the change that we need. The state of Maryland has been a tremendous partner in this effort, and I really thank you, Carol Gilbert, because you get it. I mean, you really do get it. And if, you know, you're always there when we need you, and the dollars that are provided by the state certainly do make a difference. And I know that our partners, whether it is Live Baltimore, Downtown Partnership, our own Baltimore Housing and Office Home Ownership, the Southwest Partnership, but Live Baltimore, you too, have really stepped up because you recognize, you know, that this is what we need. The incentive that we put on the table here, you know, says a lot, not just about the University of Maryland, but what our partners are willing to do. And it is that collaboration. I think if you were to hear my cabinet say, what is Mayor Pugh's favorite word? Collaboration, and I love the way I call him Dr. Chow, Mr. Chow says it, collaboration, collaboration, collaboration. Collaboration works because now you get to look in the eyes of people whose lives that you change. You get to see a neighborhood go from one area to the other. You get to see the change take place every single day. And so I am grateful. I commend you, Dr. Perman, for focusing in on this. And yes, I said it during my inauguration, but what is so great is that you all are listening. I tell people, trust me, because I still pinch myself every day that I get to do this work. People say, you're always smiling. I'm smiling because I'm happy, because I know that change will take place in this community, in the city, and because I know that partners will continue to step up to the plate. So Dr. Perman, you get the award today for stepping up to the plate, for helping us to bring about the change, and all of you who partnered with us to bring about this change. And you know, I say to the city council folks, those who are really in leadership and are leading our city, understand that it is the greatness of the city that will bring about the change. Look for the good in what we're doing. Look for the greatness in the people that we serve, and understand that everybody wants to be a part of it. It's how we apply our resources that will make the difference in the future. Thank you, Dr. Perman. Thank you, all of our partners. Thank you for being a part of change that is meaningful to our city. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor, for your inspirational leadership. The mayor is on a very tight schedule. She's going to stay as long as she can, but we must, Madam Mayor, get the proverbial check from her.
Whoa, yay. And look, a homeowner.
Yeah. A homeowner, the real deal.
The real deal. Look at it. I love that.
All right, the picture takers, please. All right.
And we'll lower it down.
She's done this before, I can tell.
Next to her, please.
Yes.
And lower it down to your waist. Lower it down to your waist. There you go. Good, good, good. Everyone take your photos, please. Everyone's have your shots. Good. At me, please. Big smile, big smile. Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Big sign in the back. Excellent. Everyone's got their shots. We're good. Good. Well, here. Sir, come on this side. Come on this side. Come on this side. There we go. There we go. Everybody else has got it. Watch the top part.
You got it glide. Drop it down.
Just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Right there. Everyone else is good? There you go. Thank you, everyone.
All right, terrific.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
You're taking the check? Oh, the check's on the easel.
No, yeah.
And I think you got mine. Thank you.
I was going to showcase your brochures. That's beautiful brochures.
Thank you. Well, now it gives me great pleasure to invite Ms. Dawn Rhodes to the podium. Dawn Rhodes is UMB's Chief Business and Finance Officer. And let me tell you all, this program has become her baby. She knew how much we wanted to improve Live Near Your Work. It's Dawn Rhodes that rallied the troops, and as importantly, found us the money to do it. Please welcome my colleague, Ms. Dawn Rhodes.
Good morning. I'm going to take a few minutes to outline the new features of our improved program, but before I do that, I can say with confidence, all of the people from UMB that worked on this project truly felt this was a labor of love. And I have to thank those people for all of the hours that they put into making this day actually happen. In terms of our mission for the program, as an anchor institution, community revitalization is key to our mission. While showing our commitment to the community, we are providing our employees with an outstanding opportunity that benefits both our neighbors and our employees. As Dr. Perman has already said, the new incentive will be $18,500, and the split has been identified between the city and the university. But what's important to note is that this is going to be a stackable incentive. So vacants to value can be added to this. House keys for employees, Live Baltimore. So for example, if you go on the Live Baltimore trolley tour and are able to win $5,000, you can add $5,000 to the $18,500. If you do purchase a vacant to value property, that's $10,000 additional that you can add to the $18,500. So this is an amazing benefit for our employees. UMB's program focuses on a specific set of neighborhoods in the Southwest Partnership: Franklin Square, Poppleton, Union Square, Hollins Market, Mount Clair, Washington Village or Pigtown, and Berry Circle. The incentive can only be applied to these neighborhoods. And for a quick comparison between our old program and our new program, we've increased our incentive amount by $13,500. We very intentionally decided to narrow the number of neighborhoods to focus on. By doing so, our investment will lead to a critical mass of new home buyers in a more concentrated area. Unlike many other institutions, UMB's Live Near Your Work program allows part-time employees with at least a half FTE to take advantage of the incentive. We are also going to make the program available to new employees so it can be used as a recruiting tool. Our old program required that the incentive be used toward your first home in Baltimore City. Our new program does not have that requirement. We really wanted to provide our employees the opportunities to live near the university. We have a much more extensive list of community partners that have helped make this program the best it can be. We forged a dialogue with the community to ensure that our program is truly beneficial for everyone. And there's more details available at our website, and you will find that email address on the bottom of every slide in this presentation. I'll read it for those in the back: www.maryland.edu/live-near-your-work/. There's a plethora of information on that website. We would truly not be here today without the collaboration of community partners. There was a great deal to learn and execute. We needed the expertise of other organizations to ensure that our employees have a great home buying experience. We would like to thank several of our partners. The Housing Authority of Baltimore City for its help in a couple of ways. They have confidentially identified 40+ Section 8 UMB employees and reached out to them directly to tell them about our improved Live Near Your Work program. We do not know who those employees are because of confidentiality, but we truly hope that many of them will take advantage and benefit from this program. Additionally, Alice Kennedy, Deputy Commissioner for the Division of Green, Healthy, and Sustainable Homes, also part of the Housing Authority of Baltimore City, has agreed to facilitate getting our combined check to the closing table in a timely fashion. That's a huge contribution. Thank you so much. The Southwest Partnership, we thank for the insight and ideals to provide the greatest benefit to residents, and for bringing developers to the table to provide the inventory of homes that will be bought by our employees. The City of Baltimore for providing the $2,500 match and supporting our efforts. Go Northwest Housing Resource Center for offering their home ownership workshops and counseling services on campus. Live Baltimore for providing us with unmeasurable expertise about stacking options and agreeing to impart that knowledge to our employees during sessions on campus. We would also like to give a special thanks to the Baltimore Community Lenders and Bill Ariano specifically for bringing the right organizations to the table to provide UMB staff members with connections to the right people. Your advice has been invaluable. And then finally, we're dedicated to the long-term impact of this program. We have a number of exciting events coming up. The next event will actually take place this Thursday when we have an internal kickoff meeting. We've invited many of our employees to attend to explain what are the steps they need to go through to actually be eligible and to participate in the program. On the 20th, Go Northwest will offer their first housing counseling session on campus. One of the requirements is that they participate in this program and earn their certificate for housing. This program not only tells them about buying a home, but just as importantly, it tells them about how do you sustain home ownership. And that's what we want people to be able to do. On the 27th, Live Baltimore Trolley Tour will be housed out of the campus center of University of Maryland-Baltimore. Never done before. They've never had a trolley tour on this part of town. We're so excited because they will be showcasing our Southwest neighborhoods on that trolley tour. And this is open not only to UMB employees, but it's open to the city at wide. We want not only our employees to live in these neighborhoods, but we want other people to live in these neighborhoods. And this is one way to facilitate people's knowledge about what a wonderful area these neighborhoods are. On the 29th, we're actually going to have our application for Live Near Your Work go live. And then on the 30th, we'll have another home ownership workshop done by Go Northwest. Starting February 13th, 10 weeks, 3 days a week, Live Baltimore will be on our campus meeting with people in group sessions and individually, because it really is a lot to understand and know, and they are so good at helping people understand what to do and how to optimize the incentives that are out there. We hope UMB's employees take advantage of this great opportunity and the events we are hosting. Dr. Perman.
Thank you, Dawn. The Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development is a big believer in Live Near Your Work, a key supporter of the program. I know the department sees a lot of potential in the neighborhoods we're targeting. To talk about the state's investment in the community is Maryland's Assistant Secretary for Housing, Carol Gilbert. Please.
Thank you, Dr. Berman. And although it looks like the mayor may be on her way out, I do want to say a special thanks to Mayor Pugh, who is really inspiring in her commitment and vision to neighborhood health and revitalization. And I just want to thank you before you have to leave to say that we've just been so blessed to have you and your team as close partners. And I look so forward to continuing to work with you on projects throughout the city. including this very exciting project. I'm pitch hitting today for my secretary, Ken Holt, who brings you greetings and congratulations at University of Maryland-Baltimore. This is a big deal. This is, I know you just didn't think of it yesterday and pull it out of your hat. This is a long time coming and a very, very important commitment to your community. It's so gratifying to hear Dr. Perman talk about this being your neighborhood. And also to hear Dawn talk about how inclusive you're seeing this program by reaching out to folks of modest means, public housing residents, and helping them take the next step should they choose toward home ownership. So we are here to be your committed partner. And we know that this isn't the first foray for you in community reinvestment. Your commitment to your community goes back quite a ways, and I'll have to admit my age here a little bit. I was the director of the Neighborhood Design Center in the 1990s, back in the day, and I recall University of Maryland-Baltimore being a very strong partner even then in reaching across the proverbial road to work in collaboration with its surrounding communities. So thank you for your longstanding commitment. It's so important that the anchor institutions recognize the power that you have for collaboration. The state has a lot of tools to bring to the table, and we want you to take advantage of those tools. We, as the Neighborhood Revitalization Division, which I directly represent, make it our mission to partner with people in places who have plans. That 3 Ps is our mantra. And here we are in a wonderful place in the Southwest collection of communities. And as a former worker here at the Neighborhood Design Center, I can attest this is a very special collection of communities, communities with history, history that shows in the fabric of your buildings, beautiful, beautiful houses, and wonderful people in those homes. So we are here to invest in bringing back, where there are vacant homes, new life to those homes. And we have both neighborhood revitalization tools, multifamily tools to promote affordable rental, and also, like what we're talking about today, single family tools through a wonderful program. I'll be a bit of an advertiser here for the Maryland Mortgage Program, and there's a brochure in the back while supplies last. We have, with that program comes, it's not your grandmother's government program. It's a very wonderful, efficiently run program. It has with it very attractive down payment assistance. There are 3 flavors, we like to say. There's a down payment loan, a deferred loan that goes up to generally $5,000, but with this kind of partnership, it's at $6,000. So if my addition is correct, all those other dollars, the big grand prize winner can get well over $30,000 with all those stackable incentives. So that should help a little bit. So the second flavor besides the deferred loan it's an outright grant of 4% of the value of the mortgage as a grant, which is worked into the mortgage. And then thirdly, there's a very attractive tax credit program that can bring on average a credit of $2,000 a year to those who take advantage of it. So if we wrap all of these incentives into the home buying experience, which is really a community buying experience, you're buying a house, but you're really buying into a great community. I think we're going to absolutely have a lot of success, and I understand that this commitment is for at least 100 home buyers, which is amazing. It's going to make a huge impact, and we're working very closely with partners, Mike Sipe and his leadership at the Southwest Partnership, to not only support this initiative through such things as helping the partnership buy houses and partner with developers to rehab those houses to a level that is attractive to the modern home buyer. We're also working on that softer stuff that is important to strong communities, the community building work, the public space improvements. And one of my favorite things, I know Mike knows I go on about this, the alley gating project to make your blocks, secure for the residents in those blocks. Something that's technically called crime prevention through environmental design. We want to work that crime prevention, those soft ways of helping with crime, because we know that citizens have a strong role in the defense of their communities. So I won't go on and on, but I do want to thank all the partners that have already been thanked, and also Governor Hogan for giving us great budgets to do this work through our housing programs, through our neighborhood revitalization programs, through our Project Core. We have an unprecedented level of resource to bring to your table, and it's your ideas that make the impact with those resources. So thank you again. We're here to be your partner.
Thank you, Carol. Appreciate your partnership. And now, you've heard a lot about the Southwest Partnership. So as Executive Director of the Southwest Partnership, Michael Sipe is often the voice of Southwest Baltimore. He's a tireless champion for the interests of this community. I know personally he's a visionary leader who knows how to achieve its aims. He's our constant partner. Michael, you're our close friend. Please welcome Michael Sipe.
Good morning and Happy New Year to everybody. This is an incredibly exciting day for the 7 neighborhoods of Southwest Partnership. A long journey for many of us. I've had the pleasure of being in the business of community development for over 40 years, and I can remember meeting with leadership of the University of Maryland 30 years ago, asking them, please come across Martin Luther King. Well, the leadership of the University of Maryland-Baltimore made that commitment almost a generation ago, and under the leadership of Dr. Perman have lived up to that. And because they have done that, we have healthier, stabler, more exciting, more diverse neighborhoods. And sort of before I go on much further, I want to ask Dawn Rhodes to stand up, just because we have Jay's leadership, and it has been mentioned, I've witnessed Dawn's enthusiasm for making this happen, and the incredible people she's put together around the table from the university. And so Karen Parks has kept us all in line. We are much appreciative in all 7 of our neighborhoods for this. We have, in the last 4 years, based on a vision plan that was developed, thanks to many volunteers from the 6 anchor institutions, the 7 neighborhoods, supported by Matt Gallagher and the Goldsecker Foundation. And Matt is in the back. Thank you, Matt, very much for believing in Baltimore and more importantly, believing in Baltimore neighborhoods. And what the partnership is going to be able to do in this process is be able to take product that is in the neighborhoods right now, exciting product, beautiful houses, houses that are already on the market, houses that are in the pipeline to be built. And we are looking at, over the next 4 or 5 months, 50+ houses that will be renovated and on the market for home ownership. We have dedicated developers who are out there now. We have Homes Free USA. We have Phoenix Development with Chris Taylor. We have Robert Carrillo. And the list goes on. And what this says is that we are at a moment in time for these 7 neighborhoods where there is finally a strong belief system that the diversity, the excitement, the creativity that already exists is going to be acknowledged by all of the larger partners that we have. And it couldn't be done, again, the mayor said it really well, it could not be done without collaboration. And we have that collaboration. Carol Gilbert and her boss, Ken Holt, believe in what we're doing. They believe in so much in what we're doing that they have given the partnership over $3 million in order to spur development along West Baltimore Street, in Pigtown, in Montclair, in Franklin Square, and in Poppleton. And we're beginning to see that turn. But we also have neighborhoods here where the residents come out continually and create wonderful opportunities. You know, you go to Union Square, you go to Franklin Square, to the parks there. On Saturday morning, you have yoga in the park. We have movies in the park. Montclair has a faith collaboration that is making significant difference in their neighborhoods. And that's the message we need to get out there, that there is more to this than just buying a house. You're buying into a community. You're buying into a community, a spirit, an energy that doesn't exist in many of our suburban neighborhoods. Not that I'm adverse to suburban neighborhoods, but, well, actually I am. There is something about living in an urban neighborhood that everyone should experience, and this provides us the opportunity to do that. And on March 24th, it's a tentative date, but that's the date we're hoping to pin, we will have the first Southwest Partnership Housing Fair right in this room, where University of Maryland-Baltimore employees will be able to come in and meet directly with the realtors, the brokers, the developers, and see firsthand what they can buy. And hopefully we will also have visuals so that they can get a sense of the excitement and the creativity that they will be buying into, where it's not just a house, but it becomes a home in a community where there's support for those families moving into our 7 neighborhoods. We are incredibly appreciative of the leadership that the University of Maryland-Baltimore has provided, and we are looking forward to just one hell of a 2018. So, Happy New Year.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all for coming out today, for celebrating the greatness of our community with us.